Mario Kart Tour introduces its fair share of new tracks, some of which are based off real-life locations. In this video, I'll be ranking all 22 new tracks in Mario Kart Tour, primarily based on the gameplay of the track. Aesthetics and locations visited are secondary. Reverse and trick tracks will not be part of this list, alternate routes of city tracks will be considered separately, and Calamari Desert 2 won't be a part of this list because the game classifies it as an N64 track. Now before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications. Now let's go ahead and start ranking these tracks from worst to best. At number 22, we have RMX Choco Island 1. Unfortunately, the Choco Island aesthetic is pretty bland, and it just reuses the music from the original. The track layout doesn't really do much. There's a few turns, and one notable off-road shortcut at the end. There's not really much to do on this track. At number 21, we have RMX Rainbow Road 1. Mario Kart Tour's first attempt at its own Rainbow Road didn't really leave much an impression. While it is mostly straight lines, the gliding sections do provide a lot of opportunities to mess up your opponents, so there is a little bit more here to do than on Choco Island 1. At number 20, we have Tokyo Blur 3. The common problem with a lot of city tracks is that while the aesthetics and music are great, there's not really much to do on the main road. All there is a toll booth and some swamps, and you spend most of the time on the highway section with a wall that blocks most of your view of the city. Moving on to number 19, it's going to be a bit of a shock to people, but it's Sydney Sprint. Like Tokyo Blur 3, there isn't much to do on the main road. Most of the track is just gradual turns, and the only obstacles are the items thrown from the train, but that's on a very short section of the track. I'm putting it above Tokyo Blur 3 because of the aesthetics and music. Had there been more stuff to do on the road, this track would be much higher up in the list. At number 18, we have New York Minute 2. Like Sydney, there isn't much to do on this track. I'm putting it above Sydney because the turns here aren't so gradual. Now you may have noticed that I put the second version of the track below the original. That's because the alternate routes it takes don't really stand out much from the original track, which is number 17. Yep, still not much going on here. I put this one higher because it came first, and you would have expected the sequel to the track to have better alternative routes, which it didn't. That's where New York Minute 3 comes in at number 16. It mixes things up by going underground, with a brief look at the Statue of Liberty. While there is more going on than the other New York tracks, I feel like they could have gone a bit further with the underground section and had us explore the New York subway. That would have made the track rise up in this list. At number 15, we have Tokyo Blur 1. Unlike Tokyo Blur 3, there is more to do on this track as there are off-road shortcuts, and the aesthetics are better since most of it's not blocked by a wall. Unfortunately, it does not visit too many locations, which is why I'm placing the second variant of this track at number 14. The track takes you through Senzo-G, which definitely stands out a lot more than the original, but the layout is quite similar to it, so I wouldn't say it's that much better. At number 13, we have Tokyo Blur 4. It takes you through the most locations in the Tokyo map, but like Tokyo Blur 3, it suffers from a bland highway section. But that's not the big problem with this track. It's one lap split into two sections, and that makes races on this track too short. Had this been 2 full laps, it would be much higher on the list. At number 12, we have Paris Promenade 1. The gliding section leading up to the Eiffel Tower is really beautiful and definitely carries the track. Now there are a few things to do like dodging some Goombas, and if you want to get more points by hitting traffic cones, you have to take a risk and get close to a piranha plant. It is, however, on the short side, so that's why I'm placing it below the second variant of the track, which is number 11. While the view of the Eiffel Tower is not as good, the track does visit a few more locations. And there's more stuff to do like an off-road shortcut at the Eiffel Tower, a piranha plant to avoid, and some pipes to ramp off of. At number 10, we have RMX Rainbow Road 2. This is way better than the original since there are more objects to interact with, and you're not driving in a straight line most of the time. I do put it above the other city tracks because those tracks are quite short. It's good to have a track that's long by Mario Kart Tour standards. And not to mention, the bouncy mushrooms can be used as bullet bill extension areas, and I love me some bullet bill extension opportunities. At number 9, we have RMX Choco Island 2. This was originally going to be way lower on the list, but after realizing how little there is to do on city tracks, this rose up through the rankings despite the bland aesthetics. There are still plenty of ramps here, but unlike the original, you actually have to steer toward the ramps, and there are more off-road shortcuts to take. At number 8, we have London Loop 2. The track starts off strong by letting you go by Buckingham Palace, while avoiding the Queen's Chain Chomps. Unfortunately, after Buckingham Palace, not really much happens and the track just loops around back to the beginning. At number 7, we have London Loop 1. Although it doesn't have Buckingham Palace, the track is longer and visits more locations in London. Also, the action is spread evenly throughout the track. There's some crates to avoid here and there, there's a chain chomp to dodge with a huge off-road shortcut, and of course, there's the tower bridge where you can ramp off of when it's open. At number 6, we have RMX Mario Circuit 1. Despite the bland Mario Circuit aesthetic, the gameplay on this track really carries it. There are a ton of off-road shortcuts, and at many points in the track, you can choose to hop on top of blocks to get extra points or avoid items. And despite it being 2 laps, the track has a decent length, making for some fun races. Starting off the top 5, we have Los Angeles Laps. The track starts off on the beach, And because most of the city tracks have you driving through the downtown area, it's a breath of fresh air. While there is a missed opportunity for a half-pipe on the beach, there's still quite a lot to do there. There isn't much to do when you get off the beach, but luckily that section is quite short. Next up at number 4, we have BERLIN BYWAYS 2. Like London Loop 1, the action is spread evenly throughout the track, but I gotta say the action here is better. The track starts off with a gliding section, and it lets you get extra jump boosts by jumping off the cars. And it's quite satisfying to jump off 3 different rows of cars. And then when you get to the train station, you have the option of going through the train to get an extra item box. And even when there isn't action going on, the scenery more than makes up for it. At number 3, we have Mario Kart Tour's first completely original non-city track, Merry Mountain. The track is really beautiful, and the holiday aesthetic really gets you into the festive spirit. As for gameplay, it starts off with a split path, and then as you go up the mountain, you reach not just a half-pipe, but a super half-pipe. And then you drive down the mountain with boost pads, and there are sleighs that are dropping coins. Now if only the city tracks could be more like this. However, there is one city track that I would say surpasses it, and that is, at number 2, Vancouver Velocity. The unique thing about this city track is that you spend most of it in a forest. There are also a lot of ramps to interact with, and the track does become narrow at times, which can definitely lead to some chaotic moments. And I can't forget to mention that I've had the song to this track on loop lots of times. So that's why Vancouver Velocity is the number 1 city track in Mario Kart Tour, but it is number 2 on this list. The number 1 Nitro track in Mario Kart Tour is Ninja Hideaway. This track is quite complex, which is definitely what Mario Kart Tour needs, and almost the entire track is layered with an upper route and a bottom route. And what I like most about this track, it has a lot of bullet bill extension areas, so I definitely have fun smuggling on this track. It's definitely up there with some of the best Mario Kart tracks like Sunshine Airport and Coconut Mall. And that's why Ninja Hideaway is the number 1 Nitro track in Mario Kart Tour. So that's gonna do it for this Mario Kart ranking video. Let me know how you would rank the Nitro tracks in the comments below. If you want more ranking videos from me, be sure to let me know in the comments as well. Once again, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe with notifications. Be sure to check out my Mario Kart Discussions playlist on the screen right now, and that's all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time.